with the prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I have shared my screen. So we have been going through the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the contents of Gita summarized. So this chapter is like synopsis of the entire Bhagavad Gita. What is there in the entire Bhagavad Gita in a summary form? Krishna speaks in this second chapter. We have been going through the qualities of the soul, which Lord Krishna is describing. We have covered till shloka number 28. Today we will continue from shloka number 29. So Krishna continues to describe the soul, and here it is said, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschid enam Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah Ascharyavat chainam anya shrunoti shrutvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. So here we can see that the word Ascharya is used many times. So Ascharya means wonderful or amazing. So here Krishna is telling that some people, Kaschid, Pashyati, means they see the soul as amazing. And some people, Vadati, they talk about it as amazing. And some people, Shrunoti, so they hear about this soul as amazing. And Shrutva Pienam Vedana Chaiva Kaschit. And some people, even after hearing about the soul, they cannot understand the constitution of the soul. Translation: some look on the soul as amazing. Some describe him as amazing. And some hear of him as amazing. While others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. So, this shloka indicates that it is very difficult to understand this soul. We have seen these qualities of the soul throughout, that how it is so minute. It is 10,000 part. If you divide the tip of the hair, then that is the dimension of the individual soul. And that soul is having consciousness, and it is an individual person. And that soul is eternal, that cannot be destroyed by any means, cannot be cut, it cannot be burned. Any kind of weapons cannot kill. There is nothing like death for the soul, or there is nothing like it can be killed. So it is eternal. There is no birth, no death. Birth and death is for the body, but the soul remains eternal as it is. And it is accepting different bodies within this material world. Sometimes human bodies, sometimes animal bodies, sometimes birds, aquatics, or trees and plants. So like that, not only on this planet, also the soul transmigrates from one planetary system to another planetary systems. And not only this one universe, there are unlimited number of universes. So when the complete destruction happens, this entire thing is wound up and again enters into the body of Mahavishnu. And the souls also enter into his body and remain in a state of sleeping. And when again the further creation happens, so some set of souls enter into one particular universe. And within that universe, they go on transmigrating one body after another body, one planet after another planet. Like that, they are wandering throughout the universe till they come in touch with pure devotee, come in touch with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and try to understand it and practice it and get purified, get liberated, and go back to the spiritual world. Then they get a eternal body. They develop the eternal body in relationship with Krishna and live permanently, eternally, without undergoing any more births or death or old age and disease. Eternally, they live in the spiritual world in association of Krishna. So, it is very amazing to know about this soul. So, some people see this as amazing. Some people hear about it as amazing. Some describe it as amazing. While others, even after hearing, they cannot fully understand this soul. So, in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of Upanishads, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Katha Upanishad. So similar description is there in another Upanishad called Katha Upanishad, because Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. And Upanishad is like after all the Vedas, the essence of that is given in the Upanishads. And further, the essence of Upanishads is given in the Vedanta Sutras. And Vedanta Sutras are explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Upanishads are called as Vedanta or end of knowledge. So, there are many Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita is also considered as Gita Upanishad. It is of the same level as Upanishads. It is even far beyond the Upanishads, because in Bhagavad Gita, the personal features of God are described. Sometimes in the Upanishads, it is very difficult to find the personal features of the Lord. But Bhagavad Gita gives complete personal features of Krishna. So that way, this Gita Upanishad is even superior to other Upanishads. And a similar passage is found in one of the Upanishads called Katha Upanishad. So there it is said, Shravana yapi bahubhir yona labhyah shrunvatopi bahavo yahna vidyuhu आश्चर्यो वक्ता कुशलो अस्य लब्धा आश्चर्यो ज्ञाता कुशला अनुशितः. So a similar thing is described in Katha Upanishad also, how we saw here, that some people hear about it, some people describe about it as amazing. So same thing is described in Katha Upanishad. So the fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, billions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space. So this is certainly amazing. Just in 1 inch, there are billions of microbes, germs are there, just in 1 inch, 1 square inch space. So many living entities are there. And in all of them, in billions of them, there is individual soul. And also, there is a very big banyan tree, gigantic banyan tree. In that also, there is one soul. So how this one tiny soul can have a small body like microbes and also this gigantic body like a banyan tree. So this is certainly very amazing. So men with poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge. So even Krishna being the greatest authority in knowledge, one of the opulences of God is jnana. Krishna has got unlimited knowledge and perfect knowledge. Knowledge given by Krishna will not be like today, it is something is there. After 100 years, it will change. Just like scientists, they also give some kind of knowledge about this universe, about different laws, but their knowledge is not perfect. Today they say something, after 10 years, that is gone. And they come up with new theories, new models. So Krishna's knowledge is not like that. 5,000 years, what was spoken, today also holds true. And the Vedas were given at the beginning of the creation, all these Upanishads and all. So billions of years ago, the same knowledge. So real knowledge means it doesn't change. Ignorance means it keeps changing. So real knowledge means it is always eternal, it is always truth. So the greatest authority in giving knowledge is Krishna, and Krishna is personally speaking about the soul. But those who are not austere, whose fund of knowledge is very poor, so for them it is very difficult to understand what is this soul. Now, who is Krishna? He imparted knowledge even to Brahma, the first living being in the universe. So the first person who was born within this universe was the living being, Brahma. And he was educated by Krishna in this knowledge from within his heart. In Bhagavatam, the first shloka describes, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye. Adi Kavi, the original intelligent being, that is Brahma, the first intelligent being. And to him also, the knowledge was imparted by Krishna. The same Krishna is giving knowledge here in Bhagavad Gita. But still, those who are not austere, for them, it is very difficult to understand about this soul. And present age, especially in the Kali Yuga, people are so much having gross conceptions. So only what they can see, they believe only that much. They don't believe beyond their eyes. Although the eyes are not perfect, eyes are limited. They can see only when there is light. Without light, the eyes are useless. Suppose we are in a dark room. So although I am having eyes, I cannot see anything. But still, they are so much after these gross things. They cannot imagine that how one spiritual particle can exist, which is so tiny. And at the same time, it is so great. It is inconceivable, having wonderful qualities. So that cannot go into their brains. Those who are too much grossly materialistic, having such conceptions. Even grossly also, if we see, they can't see mind, but everybody knows that mind is there. They can't see electricity. They can't see magnetic field. They can't see intelligence. There are a lot of things. When modern science accepts that it exists, not just by seeing, but by the effect. By the effect, they conclude that there is current, there is electricity. By the effect, they conclude that there is a force called magnetic force. The same way, although one cannot see the spirit with material eyes because it's a totally different element, it's a totally different energy. But by the effect, one can know that the soul exists. So how do we know? If you see a dead body and a living body, if you do a scientific analysis and what is the difference between a living man and a dead man? So the missing thing is the soul. When the soul leaves the body, then we call the body as a dead body. The consciousness goes along with the soul. Then the same person who was talking, who was eating, doing so many activities, laughing, crying, all the activities suddenly stop. As soon as the soul leaves the body, immediately all the functions of the body, immediately they stop. So by this, we can understand that there is something which is missing between the living body and dead body. And if we refer to the scriptures, we can understand that the missing thing is the spirit soul. And that spirit soul was the actual person who was living inside that body. The body was always dead. It was like a machine. But that body was being animated by the presence of the soul. Because the soul was present, that body was functioning as a living person. Otherwise, the body is always a dead body. Just like car is there. So car is always dead. But when there is a driver who is driving, then the car appears to be moving, emitting some smoke, some horn sound is coming from the car, some music is being played inside. So when there is a driver who is operating, then the car appears to be moving. Otherwise, the car is always dead. Similarly, this body is always dead. But when there is a soul, then this body appears to be living and doing different activities. Krishna describes in the further chapters that yantra arudhani maya. Krishna is describing this body as a yantra, a machine. And the soul is riding on this machine, yantra arudhani maya. This is a yantra or a machine made by this external energy of Krishna called as Maya, material energy. So it has created this wonderful machine which looks like a real person. So people find it wonderful to know this soul either by its constitution or by description. Constitutionally, it is eternal, very tiny, minute, and cannot be destroyed. And all these descriptions are there that how this soul is transmigrating from one body to another body. So people look at this soul as very, very wonderful. And those who are illusioned by this mental energy, they are so busy, so engrossed in this sense gratification that they have very little time to understand what is this soul, who am I. They have very little time. They are so busy in their own world. Although whatever they are doing, it lasts for some duration of time. They are growing old, they are getting diseases, and one day they will die. They are seeing so many people dying in front of me, but still it doesn't strike them that, oh, what is this race I am running for? So those people who are illusioned by this mental energy and engrossed in the sense gratification, so they have very little time to understand and question, who am I? What is this soul? And without this understanding, all the activities, whatever they did, ultimately they result in a defeat. And simply they struggle to exist in this world. Whole life they struggled, and finally they gave up this body and went from this world. So all their activities, whatever they did, the so-called achievements, growth, accumulation of wealth, knowledge, whatever they did in the whole life, it all is like ultimately it is a defeat in their struggle to exist. Perhaps one has no idea that one must think of the soul and also make a solution of the material miseries. So practically, people have no idea that they should try to understand what is the soul, try to understand what are the miseries in this material world, and how a permanent solution can be made. Actually, they're trying to solve all problems, but all these problems are on material platform. You solve one problem, another will come. This world is designed like that. So they're solving the problems on the material platform. If they solve it on the spiritual platform, then they can solve the problems permanently. If they get a spiritual body, then all the problems of this material body are gone. Whole life, they'll be struggling to solve one problem after another problem. And finally, death comes. Then again, go to in the next body. There also continue the same struggle, solving problems after problem. So unless they come in touch with these teachings of Bhagavad Gita, that too from the right source, from the authorized parampara system, unless they receive this knowledge, they'll simply go on with their struggle for existence, life after life. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, owing to ignorance, they are misguided by acceptance of the super soul and the atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. So sometimes some people may be attending some spiritual discourses, but if they are ignorant, or sometimes if they are misguided by the so-called spiritualists, there are spiritual organizations who teach that there is no difference between you and God. You and God are same. You are only God. Now you are in Maya. God is in Maya. It is like that. And when you come out of Maya, then you are God Himself. So there are organizations, there are false spiritual teachers who give even this kind of uh, misguidance also. So if people are unfortunate, sometimes they think that they themselves are the supreme soul without knowing that although I am same in quality with the Supreme Lord, but there is a unimaginable difference in the magnitude or in the power or in the capacity of the tiny soul and the Supreme Lord. So if people are unfortunate, although they may be spiritually inclined and attending some lectures, if they get in touch with wrong people, sometimes they end up thinking that I myself is supreme, I myself is God. So it is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understands the position of the soul, the super soul, the atomic soul, their respective functions, relationships, and all other major and minor details. It's very, very difficult to find a person who perfectly understands all these things. Millions, billions of people are there. I think around 800 crore people are there on this planet, human beings. Out of that, it is very difficult to find a person who clearly understands what is this soul. Fortunately, we are able to understand this because we are in touch with a self-realized soul, Srila Prabhupada, a pure devotee of Krishna, coming in the authorized parampara system. And because of all the knowledge and the purpose that he has given, we are able to understand clearly what actually Krishna is telling, what is the real purport of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, it is very difficult to find a person who knows about all these minor and major details about what is soul, what is super soul, what are their relationships, what are their functions. It's very, very difficult to find. And furthermore, it is difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul and who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects. So some people may theoretically know all these things, but deriving the real benefit of this knowledge, practical realization, and practical application in day-to-day life, it is even more difficult to find such a person. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. So if somehow or other we can try to understand and apply these things in our life, then our life becomes successful. And how we can understand this? Not by speculation, not by sitting at home and imagining. We have to accept the statements of Bhagavad Gita given by the greatest authority, Lord Krishna himself. Simply we have to accept what Krishna has told. Then we surpass all research work. There is no need of doing research. Research already done. All research is over and conclusions are given. So if we just accept that, then we save our time in doing all those research. It may take many, many lifetimes to come to that understanding. That Krishna tells further in the Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. So Jnanavan, so Jnanis, they are doing research, trying to understand what is this soul. And sometimes they think that they themselves are the supreme. And even such Jnanis or impersonalist, after many, many years of such searching after the truth, finally they come to the same conclusion what is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So if you don't want to waste many, many lifetimes doing uh, research like that, and if we immediately accept what Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita, then immediately we come to the platform of knowledge. And from there, by practice of that knowledge, we can elevate ourselves to the platform of realization also and make our life perfect. But it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice either in this life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is not very easy to accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. It requires great amount of sacrifices or penances either in this life or in the previous life, before we can accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. But even if one has not performed any pious activities in the past life, any taken any austerities in the past life or in the present life, if we can get the mercy of a pure devotee, causeless mercy of the pure devotee, we can immediately accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord and begin our process of going back to spiritual world, back to home, back to Godhead. And apart from this, there is no other way. Without understanding Krishna, without surrendering to Krishna, one cannot enter into the spiritual world. One cannot become free from this material bondage. Only way available is Mameva prapadyante mayametan tarantite. One who surrenders to Krishna, only he can overcome or surpass this Maya or the material energy of Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible. There is no other way. One has to approach a pure devotee of Krishna who is bona fide and receive the knowledge from him by service, inquiries, submissive inquiries, and surrender. Then one can immediately get what is achieved by a lot of sacrifices, by a lot of austerity for many, many years. What is achieved can be immediately achieved, immediately received as a blessing, as a causeless mercy from the pure devotee if we surrender to them and submissively inquire and render service. Next shloka. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. So further Krishna is telling the same point that Dehi is Nitya. The soul within the body, within the Deha, he is Dehi and he is eternal and he is Avadhya, he cannot be killed. And who is all pervading in this body, within this body, Dehe Sarvasya Bharata. So the soul which is present, the individual souls in each and every one person's bodies, so they are all eternal, they cannot be killed. Therefore, Sarvani Bhutani Natvam Shochitum Arhasi. You need not lament for anybody. Even if death takes place here on this battlefield, if some people die, but actually it is only the change of body what is happening. The soul is eternal. The soul is not killed. It is just transmigrating from one body to another body. The soul is eternal and it cannot be killed. Therefore, you should not lament for anybody. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body is eternal and can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. Purport. The Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. So almost Krishna is concluding the description of the soul, that how it is eternal. It will go on for some more topics, some more shlokas, but almost Krishna has come to the end. Then he will begin to describe about Bhakti Yoga, which we will see in shloka, I think, 39 onwards. Still we are at 30. Another 8 shlokas are there where Krishna is again talking about soul and some other ways he is trying to convince him that why he should not give up this battle. In describing the immortal soul in various ways, Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna as a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher Bhishma and Drona will die in the battle. On the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body, not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms develop at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. So this is the scientists' theory. They say that by some chemical evolution, biological evolution, some combination of matter, the life symptoms have come, consciousness is developed, and they cannot prove. Simply they make theories. If you give them all the chemicals and ask them to create one life, they cannot create. Simply they go on making jugglery of words, post-dated check. Now we cannot do, we can do it in the future. So how we can believe their future? Now there are so many lives which are coming. Life is coming from life. One father, mother, they produce children. We can prove that life is coming from life. They say life is coming from matter. And you ask to prove, they will say we will do it in future, not now. So simply they are misguiding people. They themselves are in ignorance and they are spreading ignorance. They are teaching ignorance. So instead of believing these kind of people who are not trustworthy, they have proved that they are not trustworthy because formerly they told some things. Now they are telling something else. Even in science, there were different models, atomic models. Then again, they said atom is the smallest. Then later they say, no, within the atom, there is a nucleus and it is made of protons and neutrons, and around them some electrons are revolving. So they could break the atom and see these things. Then they said that this is final. And again, within that proton and neutron, there are some theories that they are made of some strings. So still they are not very sure whether they have reached the end of depth of matter. So either they go deep into the matter or they go deep into the space. They don't find any end. Even if they go into the deep into the space also, they don't know where it ends, till where the space is there, till where different stars and planets are there. They have no idea. Either you go into the space or you go deep into the matter. They're fully puzzled because they're not able to find any end. So because they're not able to find any end, they cannot know where is the source, from where it all started. They have no idea. Simply they make theories and keep on changing the theories. Somebody comes up with a new theory, they will give him Nobel Prize. So one side we have all these changing theories, no fixed knowledge. And one side we have Lord Krishna, the supreme authority, and the knowledge is coming down from millions of years without any change and with all reason and logic explained. And there is a practical way to realize, a process is given how you can realize whatever is told. It is like a science. In science, you teach in the school, you teach in the classroom, then you go to the lab, then whatever was taught, you do an experiment, then you put some formulas, then you see that result is matching what was told in the classroom. So that is called science. So the science of soul, science of God, this is also a science. Whatever is told here in Bhagavad Gita, it is like classroom, and the process is given what one should do. And if one does that, then we can see that how a person is becoming blissful, how he is realizing how the life is transforming, how they are evolving as a human being, evolving as a spirit soul. Practically, one can see the effect of this knowledge. So it is not some theoretical knowledge like how scientists tell that there is no God, it was all a big bang, it started from a big bang, all those things. They cannot prove. Simply they make theories. So instead of believing these false theories given by imperfect living entities, they themselves are not perfect. They will die and go. Their senses are not perfect. And on the other hand, we have Lord Krishna, who is accepted by great authorities, great sages, all the rishis, all the devatas. And he is personally speaking. So whom will we listen? Should we listen to this false scientist or to the Supreme Lord? So on the authority of Krishna, one must accept the existence of the soul. And here, although Krishna is describing that the soul is eternal, and when somebody is killed in the battle, actually nobody is killed. It is only change of body. but that does not mean that Krishna is encouraging violence. No, you go on killing because nobody is going to get killed. It's only change of body. So violence is also unnecessary. Violence is not encouraged. It has to be justified because every living entity has got the right to live for whatever duration he has been given. We cannot abruptly end one person's existence in this body and force a person to quit this body and go to the next body. That will be done by nature. That will be done by time. Time will decide when a person has to come, when a person has to go. We cannot take the job of time in our hand and get implicated. So if we try to do Supreme Lord's work, where in the form of Kala, he is deciding based on the karma of the person, how he has acted previously, he should live for this much time. He should have this much of happiness, this much of distress. And there is a justice. If he has done something wrong to somebody, he has to undergo that. So without knowing all these things, and if you try to, or even by taking this knowledge and try to justify unnecessary killing of animals, anyway, soul is eternal, body is only temporary, let me kill that animal and eat. So all these things are not justified. Unnecessary killing is not justified. When there is a religious fight, there is a dharma yuddha, on the authority of the scriptures, one can commit violence and kill the opposing enemy who is on the wrong side of dharma, not unnecessary, committing crime and killing people or other animals. The need must be justified in terms of the sanction of the Lord and not capriciously. So if a life is killed, why there is a need to kill that living entity? The need must be justified and it must be sanctioned by the Lord. Just like we eat. Eating means killing. Even if you are a vegetarian, you must kill some plant or something. But that need is justified. That is for sustaining your life, you are killing, and that is sanctioned by the Shastra. Jiva jivasya jivana. One life is the life for another life. Jiva jivasya jivana. But there is a sanction who can eat what. So human beings, for them, the sanctioned food is plants or dairy products, vegetarian. And not only just eating like that, but it must also be offered as sacrifice in yajna to the Lord first, so that the responsibility goes to him. We don't get implicated into killing that form because we are doing it for Krishna and we eat that prasadam, we get benefited. And because it was offered to the Lord, the living entity in that life forms of vegetables or plants, they immediately get better bodies. Otherwise, they may have to go through a longer life cycle, longer chain in that 84 lakh species. So whenever there is a killing, either it be plant or animals, it must be justified and sanctioned from the authority. Whimsically, one cannot kill anybody. Okay, so it's already 7:45. So we'll stop here. We covered 2 shlokas today. Again, we'll continue in our next class. So if there are any questions, we'll take up questions now. Anybody has got any questions, they can raise their hands.
Hare
And
Krishna,
unmute.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Can I, yes, Prabhu, I wanted to know where this talking about killing. No, sometimes it so happens, even if we keep our house clean, spick and span, yet there will be cockroaches and all that. So
Yeah,
we do this pest control. So how
yeah.
to justify that, Prabhu? Pest control we do.
See,
So
first
even
thing
sometimes in
is,
the altar
first,
also there will be
yeah,
some cockroaches, this and that. So what? How to go about with all that, Prabhu?
yeah. First thing is we should not invite bugs and then kill them. So inviting bugs means if you keep unclean, then automatically they will come, they'll be looking for food. So naturally they will come. So first we should keep our houses, especially kitchen, very, very clean. We should not litter here and there. food items, then naturally different insects will come and then we'll have to kill them. So first thing is keep everything very clean. Despite your best efforts, still you are getting bugs. There is some incidents in Prabhupada's life. There was some cockroach or something in Prabhupada's room. Then he took it and threw it out of the window. Then he said, now you have the whole world to enjoy. We just took him and threw him out of the window. He didn't kill him. But there are also instructions of Prabhupada where Prabhupada has told, if these kind of bugs or insects, if they are disturbing the deities, you can kill them. Suppose in the temple altar, that also we should keep it very neat and clean. But despite that, if there are some cockroaches or other things which may disturb the Lord, then we may kill them. First thing is make sure that they don't come by keeping everything clean. And second thing is, you see, without killing, can you get rid of them? If there is not large number, say only one cockroach came. Okay, instead of killing, you can find a way how you can catch and throw it out. But if they are infested with large numbers, and it is because you would have kept raw materials, food and all, you have to cook and offer it to the Lord, they may contaminate. In such cases, you may take action to get rid of them. So these steps we can follow. There is one more incident. Once Prabhupada was in
Maintain
Vrindavan.
hygiene also one more, Prabhu.
Yes, we have to
If you
maintain
maintain
hygiene
hygiene
first.
properly, it won't come.
Yes,
It won't
yes,
disturb us.
yes. So about one mosquito also, there is one incident, one devotee in memory, he says that Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, a lot of mosquitoes, they had put a mosquito net, still there was some mosquitoes. And his servant was there and he was trying to hit and kill them. Then Prabhupada said, don't hit. Then later on it sat on Prabhupada and it was biting. Then he said, now you kill because it's attacking you. So first thing is keep yourself very house and all very neat and clean so that they don't come. If mosquitoes are there night time, you close your doors, curtains so that they don't come inside. Because once they come, then they'll start troubling you. Then you'll have to do something to kill them. Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have one question.
Yeah.
But maybe my understanding may be wrong actually. I was actually, going through the book Beyond Death and
Birth
Birth.
and death.
And
Yeah.
in that, like, one yuga was defined as 48 lakh years actually.
One yuga was defined as 48 lakh years.
Yes, sir.
See, that
Because,
is
like, it was.
4,32,000.
Oh, sorry, 4 lakh. Okay.
4,32,000, that is Kali Yuga.
That is Kali Yuga. Okay.
2 times of that
But,
is Dwapar
when-
Yuga. Yeah, please ask your question.
2 times of that is Dwapar Yuga. Okay. But when we read, right, like, Krishna is around 5,000 years ago, and Rama was about 7,500
No,
years
that is
ago.
all. See, that is all. Simply, some people say some numbers. Okay, we have to. If you go by the
Okay.
Shastra, then Lord Rama
Uh,
was present not in this cycle of Mahayuga. See, there is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. 4 yugas together makes one Mahayuga. Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
Kali Yuga is 4,32,000. Dwapar Yuga is 2 times
Uh,
of that. 2 times 4,32,000. Treta Yuga is 3 times 4,32,000. And Satya Yuga is 4 times
Okay.
4,32,000. So that comes to 4,32,000,
Okay.
then 8,64,000, then 12,96,000. Then after that, it comes around
And
16 or 17 lakh something. So that's the duration of each yuga. When you put all together,
Okay.
one Mahayuga becomes 43 lakh. 43 lakh 20,000 years. One Mahayuga. That is one Mahayuga. 43 lakhs.
Okay.
One
Okay.
Mahayuga.
Okay.
And like that, this is like a cycle, just like season, rainy season, winter season, then summer season, how it keeps changing. Earth is same. Is it not? Same
Right.
earth, same people, but weather changes. And we call it as rainy season, we call it as summer season, we call it as winter season. Similarly, the earth is there existing from crores of years. but the environment keeps changing. How the environment changes? By what kind of living entities take birth. If there are pious living entities, then the whole atmosphere is filled with dharmic activities. If they are impious living entities, then there are a lot of sinful activities. So there are periods where a lot of sinful living entities take birth. And there are periods when there are a lot of pious living entities take birth. And gradually, from that pious living entities, it goes on reducing. So adharma increases from Satya to Kali. From Satya Yuga, there are 4 legs of dharma. Tapaha, Shaucha, Daya, Satya. Tapa means austerity, Shaucha means cleanliness, Daya means mercy, and Satya means truthfulness. These are considered as the 4 legs of dharma. So in Satya Yuga, dharma is standing on all the 4 legs. So people are also very religious. As the time passes, as Treta Yuga comes, gradually the austerity portion reduces. So in Treta Yuga, people are not so austere compared to Satya Yuga. So there is cleanliness, there is mercy, there is truthfulness. As Dwapara comes, the second leg goes, cleanliness goes. Then by Kali Yuga, mercy goes. So 3 legs have gone. Austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. 3 have gone. By Kali Yuga, only truthfulness is remaining. Gradually, that will also reduce as Kali Yuga progresses. So we see a lot of killing happens in Kali Yuga, lot of meat eating, slaughterhouses. Big ads will come about these things. In TV, celebrities will talk about it. Intoxication, big ads will come. Different, pan masala or something, tobacco related thing. Big billboards will be there. All celebrities, they're promoting. So in Kali Yuga, there is no cleanliness, no mercy, because a lot of killing happens, killing of animals, killing of other living entities, and no austerities. Practically nobody performs any kind of austerities in Kali Yuga. So this is one Mahayuga. Like these cycles keep on happening, and Lord Rama appeared in one particular Mahayuga, not in the current Mahayuga also. So if you calculate that, it comes so many lakhs of years he appeared. So that is the real figure. What they say in the media and all, and social media, YouTube and all, simply they say some numbers based on some kind of thing. But if you go as per the scriptures, then he appeared long ago. And you see the fame of Lord Rama, even after billions of years have passed, still he is famous. That is one of the opulence of God. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Virya, Yasha. Yasha is one of the opulence. He is so famous, still people admire. And people want the kingdom like Ram Raj. Okay.
Got it, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. If there are any other questions, or we will end our session here today. Thank you all for joining. Again, we'll meet next week. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hey.